Hello, my fiery friends, and welcome to another Fiery Fun stream on a midweek Magic event. I am your host, the Infernoman here, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, hope wherever you are enjoying things. Well, hold on one second. Wait. Huh. Oh. Wait a second here. Something. Okay. First I was like, wait, something going on here on the side of my thing. Stream on a midweek Magic event. I am your host, the Infernoman here, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, hope wherever you are enjoying things. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, looked like I was apparently having a little goofy moment there. I guess the recording on the side is kind of working, but not really. Give me a second here for a second, everybody. Oh, welcome, Psycho Juggernaut. Thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully, again, you're having a wonderful day. Sorry, I'm having looks like a funky little issue here for a second here. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on one second. All right. Looks like everything should be fine there. Okay. Looks like we're okay. All right. So with that, Dense Planet, thanks again for joining us, my fire friend. We're just kind of had a small little technical issue there, but I think we're okay right now, right? I think we should be fine. Okay. What exactly are we going to be playing today? Well, you know what? Let's just jump right into it right now. It looked like I just had some kind of funky moment there when I was trying to do something over on Instagram there. I think the recording is still live there, so I think we're just going to roll with it. If you're watching from Instagram, I do apologize right now if I'm having a little funky issue where I can usually see the chat, but for some reason it's not letting me do it. I don't know why, but go figure. In any case, thanks again for joining us, everyone. And then you may be wondering right now, what are we playing today? Well, it's actually been a little while since we played Historic. This deck originally wasn't even conceived until like yesterday. So this deck was not part of my original schedule that I was going to have for actually streaming. But I played against a couple of opponents randomly when I was testing another deck, and I was like, hey, you know what? We haven't actually done a 60-card Eldrazi deck. So I figured, you know what? Maybe today is the day for that. So I figured, why not we do that instead? Let's go ahead, let's jump into it with a fun Eldrazi deck in the Historic format. So today, it's going to be an Eldrazi Onslaught. And this deck is actually super duper cheap, might I say. How cheap, you may be wondering? Actually, this is only going to cost you 4 rares. That's really cheap for even us. And it's only going to be $33 in paper. So if you want to take this into maybe like, I don't know, like an actual paper format, this is actually a really sweet deck that anyone can put together for an uber cheap price in the format. So I'm actually really hyped for this one. This one's actually going to be a lot of fun today. So as always, for those of you who are new to the channel, and whoever has never done this before, here's how it's going to work. First off, we're going to be talking about, of course, the deck tech in depth. Then we'll try to play as many matches as we can in best of 1. We'll play some best of 3, of course. And then when we have time, we'll then jump to an upgraded version of the deck to see how well you can do if you really want to go all out with such a deck for today. Same thing, best of 1 and some best of 3 to wrap that all up. But that's pretty much the whole game plan, everybody. Oh, Dense Planet, I arrived and got my 300 subs. Yay, I'm happy for you, my man. Congratulations. I'm really jazzed that you are growing, my man. It does take a lot of work and it will take a lot of time and effort, but I'm happy to hear that from you. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead, let's show you how this deck works. We're going to talk about, of course, the stats first. So as always, long-time viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So Eldrazi Onslaught is a Temur deck, although technically the cards are considered devoid. So I'll explain how that works in a second if you're not sure. But ideally, it's going to be, of course, a blue, red, green, and colorless focused deck with an average mana curve that looks pretty high at 3.4, but it does work. So we're going to be rocking 25 creatures in the deck. 4 sorceries, 8 artifacts, 3 enchantments, and 24 lands. Now, although that curve does look a little on the high side, hear me out for a second here, it will work with our game plan. The game plan, of course, is we're going to be playing a lot of Eldrazi here as much as possible, and we're going to see if we can try to get some extra tokens out of them to then maybe cheapen the cost of some of our other creatures, and then hopefully either drain out our opponent, smash our way to victory, whichever way we can do it, we will going to try to get our win, by any means necessary, if you will. So let's start in the 2-drop slot with our cards. So in the 2-drop slot, we have Malevolent Rumble here. 2 mana green sorcery that allows us to look at the top 4 cards of our library. You can put a permanent card from among them into our hand, put the rest into your graveyard, and you could create an Eldrazi Spawn token. These tokens are going to be a key piece to getting to our victory today. An Eldrazi Spawn is going to be a 0/1, and it says you can sacrifice a token and then just add 1 colorless mana. Keep in mind, you don't have to tap them down, so you pretty much can use them at instant speed to then just cast what you need. So this is going to be a really key part to our whole deck. We're also going to use Idol of the False Gods here, so it's a 2-mana Kindred artifact here, and it's Eldrazi. For 2 and tapping it, you can make an Eldrazi spawn, or whenever another Eldrazi we control dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on the artifact. If we have 8 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it becomes a 0/0 creature in addition to its other types, and it has Annihilator too. Annihilator, for those that don't remember, again, anytime you swing with a creature that has Annihilator, an opponent has to sacrifice permanents equal to whatever the number is. So Annihilator 2 means they have to sacrifice 2 permanents in order to just deal with that effect before they can even start blocking. So this is amazing. Incredible, powerful ability. Even on an uncommon, that's actually really good. Now, to cheapen the cost of our whole deck, we're also going to use It That Heralds the End here. A colorless Eldrazi drone. It's a 2/2 that says, colorless spells we control with a mana value of 7 or greater cost 1 less to cast. And other colorless creatures we control get a +1/+1 pump. So this means that maybe at various times, this actually might help us get a little extra power boost, and even our Eldrazi spawn tokens won't be so easy to block later on. We're also going to utilize 3 tree mascot. Words are hard, by the way. Any case, so this shape-shifting changeling here is a 2/1. You may be wondering, how does this work into the deck if we're just Eldrazi's? Well, it's a shapeshifter and changeling, which means it's all creature types, so it is an honorary Eldrazi for today. But the real reason you want it is, for a budget deck, even though our colors aren't too hard to fix, just in case, this can be helpful for us to kind of adjust our color package, just to make sure we can fix to what we need when we need it. It's also a colorless creature, so technically it does trigger off with Idol of the False Gods, and also does get the buff from It That Heralds the End. So that's just a nice bonus on top of that. Going into the 3-drop slot here, we have Kozilek's Unsealing here. This enchantment is incredibly powerful. It has Devoid, so technically it does mean it's colorless, but you still have to pay a colored mana just to cast it, by the way. So, as it says, whenever you cast a creature spell with a mana value of 4, 5, or 6, you will create 2 Eldrazi spawn tokens. And whenever you cast a creature spell with a mana value of 7 or greater, draw 3 cards. That's an insane amount of value if we can get some cards that are much higher value. But we will find a way to make that work. So hear me out for a second. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Then Splendid, for your interest hoarding gold and currently mustered up to 10 grand of gold, aka 10,000. All right, keep on hoarding, my man. We still got a couple weeks to go until Tarkir, so you should be able to have. Let me do the math for a second here. I think it should be. I mean, if you keep maintaining the dailies at this point, you should approximately get minimum anywhere between 20 to 30,000 gold by the time we get to Tarkir Dragonstorm. So that should be enough for you to then get a ton of packs to get cracking when we get started with that. So keep on hoarding, my man. I know it's tough because sometimes, trust me, I really want to crack some packs, but I got to hold on to the gold that I have. I have 26,000 right now. Of course, I am going to, and you know how to do what I do, because again, I'm doing content for content reasons, but I'm probably going to have to spend a little bit of money just to get a little extra boost to make sure we can make all the decks we're going to do over the next couple weeks once we get to Tarkir. But in any case, jumping back into the deck tech, we're also going to utilize here Snapping Voidclaw. So 3 mana, it's going to be Simic 1/3 Eldrazi Turtle. It has Devoid, and also you can tap it to make 2 colorless mana. That's going to be key for us to make sure we can keep ramping with our package. You can pay for it later on to just simply draw a card. Not too often we're going to draw a card with this, but it is just a nice bonus if we have a bunch of extra mana lying around and you just want to keep digging out more cards for your hand. We're also going to utilize another key piece here, and this is probably one of the best cards in our whole budget deck here. Glaring Fleshraker, an Eldrazi drone that's a 2/2. It's 2 and you have to pay colorless, but whenever you cast a colorless spell, you get to create an Eldrazi spawn. Anytime another colorless creature you control enters, you get to deal 1 damage to each opponent. So kind of like a colorless burn spell. So that's kind of why I like it, because I love burn decks. So this is actually really great for our deck. As we keep ramping, we will also ping our opponent and hopefully just be able to close out the game with a lot more ease based on what we're going to do. In the 4-drop slot, a single copy of Path of Annihilation here. There's a specific reason for this one. So kind of like what I mentioned earlier with 3 Tree Mascot, although it has an ability that you can utilize to then kind of fix your mana to what you need, it is only limited, however, to once each turn. So we'll use a single copy of Path of Annihilation here. It's an Eldrazi It's a Devoid enchantment that reads, when this enchantment enters, create 2 Eldrazi spawn tokens, and also Eldrazi we control can also be tapped for adding 1 mana of any color. So this is great for fixing at any point in the game. At any time we cast a creature spell with a mana value of 7 or greater, you gain 4 life. So this is great for stabilization as the game progresses. Now, we will need a couple of heavier hitting Eldrazi to make sure we can push through damage. So we're also going to utilize here Writhing Chrysalis here. So this Gruul Eldrazi drone's a 2/3. It also has Devoid, but it says, when you cast the spell, you create 2 Eldrazi spawns, and also it has reach, which is kind of nice for us and a nice bonus. But the real reason you want this card is whenever you sacrifice another Eldrazi, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. So we will have no problem, of course, sacrificing our spawns just to make this bigger, to ramp out. It just naturally is going to get bigger over the course of the game, which is just a really, really sweet option for us. And then as for wondering, you may be thinking now, so we've already talked about how we can get some bonuses if we have some higher leveled or some higher mana costed Eldrazi. So Path of Annihilation gives us some life gain. Kozilek's Unsealing will help us, of course, draw some cards, make some more spawn tokens. But we have 2 key cards in this deck that are going to be great for us to trigger those abilities. And the first one is going to be Null Drifter. It's going to be our only set of rares in the deck, but it works so well with our game plan here. So, Null Drifter is a 7 mana 4/4 Eldrazi Elemental. It has Flying and Annihilator 1, but also it says, when you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. So whether you pay the full cost of 7 or the Evoke side, you will get 2 cards out of the deal. However, if you evoke it, that means it enters, and then once it enters, you have to sacrifice it after it just triggers off. So although it doesn't seem like it does much there, the Evoke side is actually the real sweet value once you get out a copy of Path of Annihilation or even Kozilek's Unsealing, because although you're casting it for the Evoke cost, it is still technically a 7 mana creature. So what I'm trying to say here is cast it for the Evoke, draw 2 cards. If you have a Kozilek's Unsealing out, you get 3 more cards. So for only 3 mana, you can get 5 cards off of this card. That's an insane amount of value if you manage to pull off that. So great for us to refill our hand at any point in the game. And then finally, our finisher here is going to be Breaker of Creation, an 8 mana Eldrazi. It's an 8/4, and it says, when you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each colorless permanent you control. So great for stabilization. It also has hexproof from each color, so really hard for your opponent to deal with, and Annihilator 2, just to be the cherry on top. Antonio Carvalho, do you think that making a budget Brawl Eldrazi deck is possible? Yes, I do believe so. Actually, I think we kind of made a colorless deck. I think it was last year during the summer. I think during Modern Horizons 3, we actually did put together a colorless deck that was somewhat budget. I will see. It's been a little while since I've actually kind of dug through that deck, but I think it's actually pretty good. Although I kind of have to maybe revise it. So we'll hold off on that one because with the new Ugin coming out, I definitely want to then kind of reevaluate that deck down the line. But good question for that one. It is definitely possible, though. I will definitely say you can do it. Okay, now circling back to this card because I want to finish up this and start getting in some matches. So Breaker of Creation here. This is going to be a sweet card because with its abilities, it's going to be insanely hard for our opponent to deal with. The abilities that it has are just going to be really just the nice cherry on top. Now, as far as the mana base is concerned, again, we are a budget deck, so we're going to try to keep it as cheap as possible here. We're going to be utilizing here 3 islands, 3 mountains, 5 forests. Frontier Bivouac is going to be nice for fixing. A single copy of Amonkhet Raceway here to start our engines. And also, if we do manage to get to max speed, we can then give one of our creatures haste, which is great if we do it on an Annihilator creature. But even so, it's just going to be good for just to kind of push throughout some damage with something that can be hasty. Secluded Courtyard and Unclaimed Territory are probably the best creature lands for our deck because our creatures technically want to be casted for their colorless mana, but if we have to fix specifically, this card is perfect for that because you can either tap it, name Eldrazi, and then they can still be casted, but realistically, these also are great because you can still tap them for colorless mana, so this is perfect fixing for our deck. Now, as far as the sideboard is concerned, because we are going to try to play this like a little bit in best of 3, here's what you want to do. So, a single copy of Null Elemental Blast here, so bring this in to just take care of a multicolored permanent or counter a multicolored spell. Really great for us. If we want to do a little bit more counterspelling, yes, there are technically better counterspells than Void Shatter, but honestly, I threw it in there just for flavor purposes. But yes, in the upgraded version of the deck, we do swap these out for a stronger counterspell. So keep that in mind. It's again for flavor reasons. We have Titan's Vanguard here. Titan's Vanguard is a 5 mana 5/5 Eldrazi, and when we cast this spell and whenever a creature attacks, put +1/+1 counters on each colorless creature we control. So if we want to go big and wide, this is going to be an also alternate great card for us to bring in depending on the matchup. If we need some removal, we have Ghostfire Slice here. It will be 3 mana, but actually it will only cost 1 mana if an opponent controls a multicolored permanent. So again, against those multicolored decks out there, great removal or even an awesome burn spell for a really cheap cost. Another extra copy of Path of Annihilation if we want to do more ramping. If we have matches that maybe we're just going to get gummed up with the board and it's just going to be a stalemate, we'll bring in Spawn Gain Commander here. 5 mana for a 2/2 Eldrazi Goblin, and then it creates a bunch of tokens, but you can also sacrifice the tokens later on just to do some pinging damage and hopefully close out the game. And then finally, if we just need, again, a little bit more oomph in the deck, we can always bring in extra copies of Breaker Creation, just in case our opponent is very removal happy. But otherwise, that is the whole deck for you, everybody. Is it possible for us to somehow pull off this pile of Eldrazi for a cost of only, wait, how much is this right now? Oh my goodness, yeah, it's only... This deck is only $35. That's actually really good value. And technically it is modern legal if you actually are cheeky enough to put it into a real paper format. So keep that in mind. But I think this deck is actually poised to do some pretty awesome things in the historic format. Oh, Antonio, I'll make sure to try and see it and copy it so I can use it. Oh, well, I hope you have fun with it. If you do manage to find it, I think it should be in the live stream playlist I have. I think I called it Uggin's Eldrazi, but yeah, it's almost a year old at this point, but I think it's still pretty relevant. May not be the cheapest, but we can always make those tweaks later on in the future once we get our new Ugin in a couple of weeks. I'm super jazzed about that. And speaking of being jazzed, let's go ahead, let's play now in the historic format. I know a lot of y'all out there don't really play historic anymore, but honestly, when I did testing for this deck, I did try it in Timeless, and it kind of fizzled a little bit there because in Timeless, we have to deal with a lot of broken stuff. So I decided to adjust this for Historic to see maybe this is the right home for an Eldrazi deck of this caliber. All right, so with that, let's go ahead, let's bring it into the format, and let's see how well this deck can do. I'm actually pretty excited for this deck. It's been a little while again since we played Historic, so hopefully this should be fun, right? Hopefully we won't get completely destroyed by alchemy cards. Tony, I'll wait for Ugin to drop, as you said. Oh, don't worry. It is coming. It is definitely coming. But I'm going to try to see if I can budget and balance it so that way it's still going to be at least, when I think of paper budget, I want to still keep it under $100. So in theory, any player out there should be able to afford it. And I'll, of course, try to minimize as many rares as possible. We'll go with what is ever considered essential, and we'll just kind of adjust from there. All right. So without that, let's go ahead and see. All right. Okay, we can cast what we need here. This is good. This is a good hand. If we can get another land, Rising Chrysalis should come out, and we should have no problem with this. All right. Mountain. Clockwork Percussionist. All right, opponent. Bring it on.
It's time to do.
I just love doing that. Oh, okay. So we also got our force, so perfect. We got great fixing right now for everything we need. What should we make our opponent think we have, though? Put an island first, and we'll go from there. Dense Planet. Yeah, played Brawl and had to against Alchemy. Ugh. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Alchemy, everybody. Still a thing. Again, never going to be a fan of Alchemy, but if anybody out there likes Alchemy cards, hey, more power to you. Not going to lie, we've done some decks where we've used Alchemy cards, so I can't be completely hypocritical against that, but it's just not my cup of tea. In any case, all right, so we got the raceway down. We're going to start our engines. In the meantime, though, we will try... Let's see, what do we want now? Let's put Idol of the False Gods out first. In case if our opponent has any kinds of removal or aggro plan. All right, Ancestral Anger. Okay, well, our opponent's gonna start pumping now, so ugh. Enter the Enigma. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what to say except, jeez, we're gonna get steamrolled, aren't we? We may not be fast enough to stop this aggro plan, but we'll try. Let us play a mountain. It that heralds the end. Okay. Is there a way out of this? Or are we too slow and we're going to lose here? If our opponent has any kind of... Oh, Tectonic Hazard. So his for one. Okay. Well, I guess I'd have no choice here. I have to block because we can't take that much damage. Ugh. Not good. Okay, opponents. Do you pump up your Clockwork Percussionist? Nope, Fling. Okay. Alright, down to 3. Ugh. We're not dead, but we are close to the end here. We'll try still. Writhing Chrysalis. Make some tokens. And we got a creature out there. Let's see. Do we do this now, then? I guess we'll do it now. We get some pump. Alright. No attacks yet, in case we need to kind of block for at least a turn or two. But our opponent right now... Festival Crasher, okay. Our opponent is definitely going all in on the fling and swing plan, if you will. Okay. If we take the hit here, do we... Yeah. Put the block here. Otherwise, that puts us in shock range, and we don't want that. Okay, Kiln Fiend. Alright, so, unclaimed territory. On Eldrazi. Snapping Void Claw. Idol of the False Gods, number 2. Okay. Do we actually want to swing here, or do they have the Fling in hand? That's always the hardest part here. No attacks yet. Okay. I mean, we're pretty much almost dead here, unless we can start getting some life gain. I don't know. Ancestral Anger. No. No, don't pump up our opponent. No more pumping, please. No more pumping. Oh. Jeez. Alright. I mean, we can still block this, but we're not gonna... Yeah. Okay. So with that, Retreat Mascot blocks there. Block the Festival Crasher. Ugh. Down to 1. Wow. We got a poison token out of that? Okay. Well, all of our stuff gets pumped, but it doesn't really matter because they're still on the aggro plan. Writhing Chrysalis. Alright. Again, we're still not dead. Frontier Bivouac. We'll kind of hold on to that for a little bit longer. Still no attacks because you can't really do anything just yet. Antonio, would me having the live open to both Twitch and YouTube help you? I mean, that's up to you. Not gonna lie. I mean, I appreciate your support, but I mean, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I still appreciate you just watching here, so thanks again. I mean, realistically though, I think right now I'm trying to see if I can grow a little bit more with Twitch, because Twitch is a little clunky with how they do discovery. But either way, do whatever you feel, my man. I don't want to pressure you to do whatever you don't want to do, but I still appreciate that. Speaking of that, though, what I don't appreciate is losing, but... Alright, well, it was okay, everybody. That was the first game. Not a big deal. At least they didn't throw out any alchemy cards against us, so hopefully maybe we can dodge alchemy cards just for a little bit. Either way, let's go ahead, let's jump into another match here, and we'll see how we can do. I still feel pretty good about this deck. Honestly, it can hold its own pretty well, considering that literally it's only 4 Raiders in Arena. That's a pretty good rate, especially also when you consider how expensive this game is. I mean, honestly, if you're a person that's been saving up for rares, not gonna lie, I feel like we're all gonna get screwed over in a couple of weeks once we get to Tarkir, and then once we get to Final Fantasy, I'm sure we're all gonna be completely broken this game because of all the stuff that you're gonna need probably to make those decks. But we'll see what happens. This summer is gonna be a really interesting one for sets. I'll go to Twitch then. Okay. Well, that's up to you, my man. But thanks again. Either way, for those of you that are still wondering which platform to watch me on, oops. Sorry, opponents. Okay. All right. That's fine. I realize now, wait, were we actually... We didn't start with ranked, did we? Okay. I still want to keep it fair. We'll play this in ranked because maybe we'll play some more serious opponents there. So let's actually go to ranked now. I realize I probably should do that. I guess our opponent there did not want to wait for us, but okay. A win's a win, I guess. But as I was reminding everybody, you can watch me wherever you want because I'm streaming across all kinds of formats. I'm streaming on X, streaming on YouTube. We are currently live also on Twitch and also Instagram, so enjoy me wherever you want. Oh yeah, and I forgot, we're also on Kick too. For the handful of you that actually did join me on Kick. Appreciate that, by the way. Either way, appreciate the love no matter where you're at. Okay, now we're actually going to get into the serious match here because now we're actually playing ranked. So we'll see. What is our opponent going to bring on for us? Bring it on, opponents.
It's time to do.
All right, well, start with the forest first. We're not going to reveal Eldrazi just yet. I want to see what our opponent's going to throw at us. All right, another mountain. Harmonic Prodigy. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. It's been a while since I've played in this format, but I think this is the... Harmonic Prodigy reminds me, is it the Shaman... Or the Wizard Shaman deck out there? I forgot which one it was, but it is definitely a deck that will be a bit of a problem for us, depending on things. Oh. Alright, I forget that if we're playing this format, we are going to deal with alchemy cards. So, here we go. Goody. Down to 17. That's okay. Alright, so I think this is going to be the turn where we have to now name Eldrazi. Snapping Void Claw. Let's do the ramping. Alright, opponents. What else you got? We can block for a little bit, which is fine. Alright, draw some cards. Opponents, what do you got? Swinging, okay. Okay. They get a ton of treasures off of that, though, so, Do they have another spell in hand? I don't feel good about this. Down to 12. Opponents? Fanatic Amagwis. Okay. So, they're a devotion deck. Interesting. Okay. Well, that was absolutely miserable because, again, yay, alchemy cards. But that's fine, everyone. It's fine. This will come with the territory. If it really gets kind of bad and I don't feel good about this, we could always jump to Timeless. But again, I focused on this deck trying to be built for the Historic format. I know nobody really plays Historic enough compared to, say, like Timeless and Explore, or much less even Standard. But I think this should be fine. We won't run into too many matches here, but we'll see. Formiga Natural, thanks again for joining us on the chat, my fiery friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. I played Alchemy when I started because my deck was accepted there. I had a Joda deck. I mean, again, nothing wrong with that. Whatever helps you out. Oh, thanks again for the follow, my fiery friend. Thanks again for also joining us today. And again, one more time, hopefully you're having a wonderful day where you're at. Okay. I mean, hey, when you started, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just jumping into whatever format. I'm not going to lie. Like, originally when I built this channel, this was, again, when Historic was literally the only other format you could play with in the game besides Standard. So yeah, I pretty much built my channel originally on Historic until we actually got more formats and more cards. Nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, if it makes you happy, that's cool. I think I probably wouldn't hate alchemy cards if they actually stuck to what they claimed that they wanted to do with alchemy cards, which is alchemy cards are meant to be updated more frequently, but I don't feel like they're updated enough. And I probably wouldn't also be as annoyed if they just left real paper cards alone. But again, for those of you out there that do like alchemy, more power to you. It's just not my bag. I can tolerate those cards, but I prefer not to have them in whatever format I play. But hey, that's going to come with playing on Arena if you're not playing Explorer or Standard, because they're legal in every format. Any case, let's see what our opponent is doing here. So I noticed they have Elf Druid and Insect here, so Wirewood Symbiote. So this means that our opponent's going to try to pull off some goofy shenanigans here. So this means that they're going to be bouncing back the Elf, which means they're going to try to make a bunch of mana, all that stuff. But we'll see if we can get around that. We'll try. Let's name Eldrazi, and let's... If the Herald's the end, we'll just do that now. So... Null Drifter is in hand, which is nice, but we're a ways away before we can actually fully cast it. If we have to, we can evoke with it if we need to in a pinch. Allosaur Shepherd. Okay, well, we don't really care about their counterspelling. We just care about just stopping them before they start swinging really hard at us, because this is going to get a little dicey here, but we'll try. All right, Mountain. Let us Kozilek's Unsealing. Hopefully we're not going to be too slow here, because this format is definitely a lot tougher because of what we're dealing with. Psycho Juggernaut. And you're doing a great job. It's fun here. Okay, well, thanks. Dense Planet. Historic was the original Explorer. Also, Alchemy should be on its own Eternal format so they can pull out every Alchemy card out of Historic, Timeless, and Brawl. Simple, really. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Dense Planet. I've had my love-hate relationship. In the early part, when they started outing Alchemy cards, I was on the fence. I thought, okay, well, this could be fun. But unfortunately, though, a lot of the cards are horribly imbalanced. Some of them are okay, and some of them literally do warp formats to the point where sometimes they're just not fun. But I kind of still try to tolerate it because the formats that I do stream sometimes means that we will have to deal with them sooner or later. But I mean, that's just how it is. Okay, so our opponent here is going to try to do their little shenanigans. If we keep losing in this format, though, I can always just jump to Timeless to see how well the deck does there. Maybe I can give it another shot there. But again, this deck was originally built for... Oh, come on, opponents! Ugh. Okay, I won't get mad. Won't get too mad. But our opponent is steamrolling us because I forgot. Elves are absolutely insane. Oh, boy. Any case, well... We'll see how this goes. I'm not looking too hot right here, everybody. So I know the deck looks a little bad, but hear me out. It can do some stuff once we get at least maybe a couple more games going. But unfortunately, our opponent is just going to go off here. Swing? Maybe? Nothing? Okay, so they are. Allosaur, Shepherd, swinging. No blocks. Okay, so we have an unclaimed territory. Eldrazi. I don't even know what to do at this point, because we're a little behind. Okay. We'll make some spawns. They have a little bit of pump thanks to the Herald's the End, but it's not enough. I think I'm probably just going to get wrecked here, but we'll give it this one turn. I'm sure our opponent already has enough now to beat us. Oh, yeah. Elvish War Master. All right. I'm just going to cut my loss here, because there's no way we're going to stop all this. Ouch. Not looking too hot with our Eldrazi, but that's okay. We're going to keep trying. We're going to keep trying. Formiga. I'm Portuguese. I follow a channel, not sure if I can say the name or not, that I'm pretty sure is the biggest Brazilian arena channel. And he plays a lot, and I mean a lot of Historic, and do most of the Brazilian Portuguese people to play Historic. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. But I mean, like, I try to see what other channels are out there, not just American ones, but international ones, because some of them really play some unique stuff out there that actually kind of inspire me with some of the decks that I like to play and build in budget form, and maybe expand to real, more powerful form. So, interesting. Historic, ain't it? Yeah, let's give it at least a couple more matches, Densplanet, and if it really ends up being miserable, then hey, we can always change this deck. We can also go into a much more stronger build, because we can always, this deck is legal and timeless, so we can definitely try there. But we'll try. We'll give it another shot. Sometimes, again, you do have games, or you do have sometimes sessions where you're just going to get destroyed. And you've seen that many times. For those of you who have watched my channel, there have been many live streams where, man, I get wrecked all stream, which does make me look pretty bad. But hey, I'm still having fun. And that's the most important part when you play Magic is, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. But not going to lie, it is definitely fun to win. Any case, what is our opponent playing? Okay. Opponent, you there? Hello? Hello? Opponents? Maybe they went to go get something, like water. I don't know. I realize I probably should be hydrating myself right now. Okay. Oh, they shocked themselves. All right. Well, I guess our opponent is there. Doesn't know what they're doing, but either way, we'll get our engine started, and we'll play Idol of the False Gods. All right. It resolves. So, from here, we have Glowing Fleshraker, which is great. That's what we want. And we have our Breaker of Creation. Now, if we could just find a way to get that out quick. I know we're doing it the fair way, but we're going to try. Unclaimed territory. We will name Eldrazi, so our opponent probably now knows what the game plan is. But we'll try. And see if we can get around this. Exhaust was a good example. Yeah, I tried with the Exhaust deck, but I got completely wrecked with that one. And honestly, I really wanted to like the mechanic, but maybe we didn't build that deck very well. Maybe in the future, we might give it another shot down the line. But we'll see what happens. And our opponent destroys our Glaring Fleshraker, so we're gonna have to do this the hard way. If they're playing a Fiery Impulse, okay, Expressive Federation. So, is this the Arc-like Phoenix deck? Are we playing Historic Phoenix? Spellslinger? I'm not sure. Oh, okay, it's a Delver deck. Okay, so that means they're going to be very low to the ground, and they're going to try to get stuff out there for a cheaper cost. But we'll see. Can we get around this? If the Herald's the End, by the way. 3-tree mascot. Right, does our opponent flip? They do not. Phew. Okay. But then, yeah, as I was going back to my point, sometimes, again, we've seen streams where I get destroyed, but sometimes we've had some really, really amazing streams where I am just steamrolling people all day, so it really does vary. It does kind of depend, I guess, on whatever will get thrown at us. But I'm not going to lie, I definitely feel a lot more in tune with Brawl and the Explorer format, but again, I wanted to give at least Historic a try one more time. It's been so long since we've done Historic. I wanted to see, hey, let's see how good this format is. Or is it still unplayable? All right. So far, it's not working, but we're going to try. Let's make a token and pass. No attacks. Flip. Okay, they do flip now. All right. Well, I mean, they can't. They have to pay full cost now for their Wizard's Retort because it's not a wizard anymore. Now it's an insect. Was it insect human? Yeah. Oh, never mind. They have another Delver. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. Frontier Bivouac. I guess we'll just make another token. And just we're going to just do it the hard way here and just hard cast our Breaker of Creation. But we'll try. Okay. Flip another one. Ugh. We are going to run out of time very quick here. This is a clock now. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we can cast the Breaker of Creation if we really are able to. Okay, Glaring Fleshraker. But they have a counterspell already, so I don't know what we can do if they have a counterspell. And they also have basically a Bolt in hand, so yeah. I mean, we'll try. We will try here. But it's not going to be easy. Okay. Right, it does resolve for now. I guess we'll just get in one free hit. Surprising our opponent has not tried to do anything yet. Starter entrance number 2. Opponents. Archmage's Charm. Interesting. They draw 2. Very interesting. Okay. If we can survive this hit, we can cast the Breaker of Creation. Even if it gets counterspell, we will get a ton of life back, so that should be good for us. Right? That should be helpful. Dense Planet, I remember playing the Eldrazi on a budget. Here is my tip. You need more mana dorks that were added from the Horizon set. Use the new uncommon fetch lands that also can tap for colorless. And also Kindred Enchantment is a must. Well, we'll see what the build I have, because I wanted to see how cheap I could go. And I know we're kind of really pushing the limits of our budget, but I think maybe we can get a win or two off of this. We'll try. Okay? But again, if it fizzles out, we already have a more powerful deck ready, waiting in the wings. Okay, another mountain. All right, so. All right. We're here for Eldrazi, so we're going all in. We will get our triggers off. Even if they do counterspell us, we will get a ton of life back. So this is actually kind of nice. King our opponents. Okay. Shifted to level 3. Get a ton of life. Okay. Even if our opponent tries to counterspell this, we just bought ourselves a whole nother turn or two. So that's actually pretty good for us. Opponents? Anything else? Nothing yet. Okay. Pass. So. Okay. We will, I guess we'll activate here. Sacrifice some tokens. This does put counters on the idol. Ping our opponent. Get another counter. Okay. So I think we might actually get there with Idol the False Gods if we absolutely have to. I think we can do it. Okay, so Delver again. Opponent is flooding out like crazy, though. Opponent? Anything else? 2 cards in hand and we are completely emptied. Anytime now, opponent. Anytime now. Well, I mean, if nothing else, we managed to survive so far with the Breaker, so that actually did help us out a little bit there. That did save our bacon for a bit. Okay, Path of Annihilation. So, let's cast this. Getting the life gain from this would be so nice if we can just get at least one more spell. If we can get a evoke from our Eldrazi Elemental, that would be really sweet right now. But let's try. Come on, opponents. Anytime now. Anytime now. Opponent. Anytime now. For Amiga to Dense Planet, would the Streets of New Capenna lands be good? The ones that get sacked when they ETB and gain 1 life for fetch lands. Huh. That's possible. Okay, so we're going to sack 1 here. This turns on Idol of the False Gods. So now we have an actual attacker. We don't really need 3-tree Mascot anymore, so now we're just going to get more aggro here. Annihilator 2, so that does trigger. They have to sacrifice 2 permanents, though. They actually could get rid of their lands if they want to. Chump block. No? Really? Down to 3, okay. Alright, and we're at level 4. Max speed. Although we're not really a max speed deck for set. It's just there in case we do get something else we may need to cast. So, okay. Opponents? What else you got? The only thing that's going to hold us back is the fact that Eye of the False Gods, even with Annihilator, means they can just keep sacrificing lands, which is not ideal for us, but it still will force them into a bad spot where they're going to have to keep chump blocking for a couple turns. But we'll see what happens here. Oh man, we're so close. We actually could get a win here. It all depends on what our opponents play. Archmage's Charm, thankfully, does not hurt us, per se. Oh, come on. Really? Alright. Well, there goes our game plan there. Dang. So close on that one. So close. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll just have to take the hit here. And we'll see what else we can do to get around things here. Down to 5. Okay. Ugh. We're not dead. Malevolent Rumble. Okay. Come on, deck. Give me something. Anything. So they're all right, but those can be tapped for colorless, and also the cycling. Yeah, I guess you're not wrong on that one. Archmage's Charm. All right. All right. Well, they definitely fizzle us there. Okay. Is there anything? Well, we don't really have anything else we can do here. I mean, I could pressure our opponent here with one swing, but it's just not enough. All right. All right, and then, dang, we lose again. So let me try this out for a second here. Okay, we're losing rank. That's okay, though. Let's try this in Timeless, just maybe like 1 or 2 matches. Let's try this in Timeless for just a second here, because I'm curious to see if this deck might do better in Timeless. It was yesterday. I gave it a couple of shots, but it didn't do too well. But what I do want to see, maybe today might be a different day. But it's okay, though. Not too bad, honestly, for a deck that I threw together literally in a day and didn't get really a chance to test it, but, I mean, that happens sometimes. Okay. We're going to try again. Timeless. We'll maybe do 1 or 2 best of 3. Maybe that might be better for us. We'll see. Okay, so with this, we got the Malevolent Rumble, so we can dig out what we need. We will have the Colorless for Glaring Fleshraker, and we have a Null Drifter and a Path. Okay. Well, the tap Triland is a trap, you say? Huh. Maybe, I suppose? But see, my thought process is, at least with the tap Triland, it'll get us to what we need to in the early game. Okay. Forest. Malevolent Rumble. Okay, so what do we want here? Let's see. Well, we want to make sure we can cast what we need, so. And pass. But you say the top Triland's a trap. Maybe so? I guess? I mean, we can always make tweaks and adjustments. It's not a big deal. And then also we can kind of cover some of the upgrades that I'm looking at doing in the budget version. Opponents. Alright, they're doing their pump, so they have Monstrous Rage. No surprise. This deck always has Monstrous Rage ready to go. Monstrous Rage again. Ugh. Okay. 8 damage. Down to 11. Alright. Well, not doing too hot here, but we'll try. Amonkhet Raceway. We will play Glaring Fleshraker. And pass. Okay, so, game plan now. We get the Writhing Chrysalis out. We start getting some Eldrazi spawns that we can start using the chump block if we need to in a pinch. The Chrysalis also can pump itself up. But we'll see. We shall see here. Bolt Wave. Alright. Swinging. Down to 8. Bolt Wave again. Ooh. Down to 5. I guess we don't have a choice here. I mean, even if I sacrifice, it doesn't matter. They still have trample, but... Jeez. Okay. Another forest. Path of Annihilation. Make the spawn. Ping. 2. Oh, actually, I kind of fumbled out a little bit there. Maybe I should have done it a different way there. Okay. Null Drifter. Okay. Well, we do get some life back, so I guess it's not the worst. Draw some cards. Do the evoke shenanigans. It sacrifices. And, okay. I guess that's it. Okay. That monster token really does hamper us a lot. Hired Claw. Okay. You can play with just Modern Horizons 3, but that mascot card has to go. Like, there are so many better options. Well, okay. The thought process originally was just making sure we fix what we need. But maybe it really is holding us back. So I guess I probably should have spent more time maybe building the deck a little bit better. All things considered. Down to 2. Well, some way, somehow, we're not dead. Oh, we're still getting forest. Okay. Not quite what I want to see, but alright. Okay. We can still bring down the Rising Chrysalis. Okay. Ping, ping. 3. Make some tokens. Ping. And... okay, how do we do this here? I guess Malevolent Rumble. We'll get the it that heralds the end. Ping again. Down to 10. It that heralds the end. I mean, the deck is still kind of going off, right? 9. Get some pump. Okay. We'll hold there. Okay. Well, some way, somehow, we managed to stabilize. I don't know how, but we did. Oh, wow. Our opponent is definitely getting cheeky here. Did they get the final card? No, they had the bolt. Oh, come on! Ugh. Dang. They actually top-decked the actual bolt. Wow. Well, alright. I think it's time for a change. Okay, so let's kind of discuss this real quick, because Dan Splendid did bring up a couple points. Maybe I was a little too hasty in building this, but I think originally my thought process was maybe... okay, so I guess 3-tree mascot seemed kind of cute at first, but it's not quite performing, and we don't need it as badly. And I would say probably, as you were mentioning earlier... okay, so the Tri-land you said was a bit of a mistake here. And then 3-tree mascot. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could just build it all on just Modern Horizon 3 cards instead. Well, let's see. So briefly, we'll take a quick little pause here, everybody. And I kind of want to see, like, what else can we do with this? So what would you then recommend? So should we put in instead Basking Brood Scale? Void Pouncer? If we're going to just go with a new 2-drop here. So we're going to cut 3-tree mascot. So it's not quite doing what we wanted it to do. Propagator Drone? Actually, Propagator Drone might be helpful. Or let's see. Well, I think some people mostly put in like things like... let's see. Not that many big drops. Okay. And then... so we'll try out maybe the budget one more time. I just wanted to keep it as cheap as possible, but I know we have a lot more power we can really push into this deck if we wanted to. Well, okay. So I guess we're going to do a little bit of brewing for just a moment here, everybody. Don't worry. We will be jumping, of course, into the game again in a little bit. But hold on. Let's get that checked up. Okay, there we go. All right. Any case, let's see. More on the ramp aspect, where we just kind of put in other stuff that can help us ramp for more lands or Just maybe double up or things like that. The good one was that could recur itself. The one that could recur itself? Wait, which one are you talking about? Sorry. Let's see. Oh, are you talking about this one, Wastegate Battle Mage? It's this one, right? Because this one's the one that has the kicker where he can bounce. Oh wait, no, hold on. All right, maybe that's not the one. Cryptolith Fragment here. 6/6. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. We're trying to cook here. Let's see. Close the Impossible. Skittering. Persecutor. Thief of Existence. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Modern Horizons 3 cards that you can use that I haven't taken the time to actually like really dig into. But there's definitely some interesting options here. Okay, so we'll try to modify the budget one just for a moment. And then actually, hold on. Let's actually upgrade this based upon the actual upgraded deck. So let's actually figure that out instead here. So this is right here, you're seeing on screen right now, the upgraded version of the deck that actually really kind of goes a little nutty with the actual budget. So this one is looking to do a little bit more with some of the other stuff that I think might be a little bit better for us. So hold on one second while I try to... So with this one here, probably we could cut that 3-tree mascot. And then, hold on. So with this one here, we want to see if we can... We're trying to see if we can maybe work with something else here that can start pumping up our team. Or maybe we can push through some heavy damage. I'm not sure. Or maybe we can just put another Snapping Void Claw. There we go. So I guess that would help out too with more ramp. But anyways, the version you're seeing right here that I'm kind of upgrading right now, and I will make sure to make the proper adjustments for us in the wrap up. So I'll explain and make sure we have copies of these that you can check out if you're interested in this deck. At the end of the video, I'll put in links, of course, where you can then see the versions we played today. So hopefully you're going to get a little idea of what you want. Any case, so the version what you're going to see right here, I think we'll, because I'm looking at the clock right now, I realize like, wow, we kind of fell back on time a little bit here. Any case, I think we'll just kind of focus right now on the non-budget one. But if you do like the budget one for that super cheap price there, I will, again, leave that link in the details of the stream once we're done today. But anyways, this one right here, we're going to still probably tweak with it a little bit here because Eldrazi have a lot more options than I thought, but I probably needed maybe a little bit more time to cook it, if you will, but we're still going to try to make it work. So this variation here is the upgraded version. It's going to be, you don't want to know how much this is. I think this is like $600 if you actually want to go super crazy with the actual cost. In any case, this one here we'll use instead Basking Brood Scale, Adapt to then make a spawn, Malevolent Rumble to dig some cards out in Eldrazi Spawn still, keep the Idol of the False Gods. We're going to trim down It That Heralds the End since, according to a viewer here, we probably don't need as many copies. I mean, we will have some pretty big creatures coming up, but the idea still is just, of course, we can utilize this card to help us out with a couple things here. Kozilek's Unsealing, so we'll have this as well. Maybe I guess we could cut another It That Heralds the End, and then maybe we could put another Kozilek's Unsealing, so there we go. We'll have the Snapping Void Claw here, so we have an entire set now, so we're going to focus a little bit more on the ramp. Glaring Feshraker here will help us still. Path of Annihilation, still a single copy of that. So I'm going to try here Roaming Throne. Roaming Throne can name Eldrazi, and hopefully we can get some more triggered abilities with that. So that's the idea with this card, is hopefully this one maybe can give us a little bit more to work with here. We'll try. We'll keep the Null Drifters just for card draw. We're going to add in, of course, Ulamog, both Ulamogs, if you will. So hopefully, maybe we can cast one of these and just exile everything our opponent has out of their library. So that's the idea behind this version, if you will. And then we'll adjust our mana base here a little bit. So we're going to trim down the basics. We'll put in some Shocklands, of course. Keep the Triomes, but maybe we can adjust this as well. Caverner's Souls. Actually not. Maybe we don't need these. We could probably just keep the creature land instead. So Caverner's Souls just make sure that we don't get ourselves countered. Mutavaults, because they can be technically Eldrazi if we need to in a pinch. So that's kind of the idea for this game plan here. So, I mean, we can still make those adjustments if we need to. So hold on. Okay, so let's make that proper adjustment before I continue onward. And then we're looking at right now using, hold on. Where's the Secluded Courtyard? Well, whoops, wrong spot. Okay, so that's the idea here is we'll have those instead. Caverner's Souls, the Raceway still, Mutavaults for everything else. Everything there should help us out. And then actually probably could trim down now some of the other stuff we don't need. So instead, we could just go with... I'll make these adjustments, of course, as we go, but I think this one we probably could go with the Unclaimed Territory instead. And then instead... So this one, we can still use the Triome here if we need to. So we have everything fixed, but now we have enough colorless here to then cast everything else we need, because we're still running 24 creatures in the deck. So that's the idea here. And then real quick to kind of give you a quick little rundown of this, the upgrades also to the sideboard here will be pretty much just adding in Kozilek's Broken Reality here. We have the other ones here, Kozilek's Command, Emrakul here. Oh, you're suggesting I should have the Kindred enchantment. Oh, that's right. Hold on. Okay, so trying to figure out, okay, so before we do that, okay, so, oh, okay, you're talking about Echoes of Eternity. So, let's see. Where can we put this in? Maybe we should trim down a Roaming Throne? Or an Eldrifter? Let's see. Maybe do it that way. A single copy. Because it's expensive to cast anyway. But it also, let's see, but that ability also is pretty good too. Maybe we just don't need the Roaming Thrones after all then. Okay, I'm going to have to do it that way because I don't want to spend more rares on this than I need to. So we're probably going to try it this way. Okay. It's going to look a little expensive, everybody, but don't worry. We're going to give this a try. Let's try this out. You know what? Let's give this a try right here, right now. We'll see how well it does. We're going to try Historic Ranked again with the upgraded deck. Don't worry. Again, whatever modifications we do today, I will make sure, to, of course, to leave a link for that if you are interested in seeing how well the deck does. I'll leave probably the original version that we started with before I start modifying it, so at least you can kind of see where we started with and, of course, what we're ending with. So let's hope that maybe this version here will be a little bit better than what we did earlier. Either way, we're gonna make it work no matter what. Even if we lose every single match here, I'm not going to try to get too upset about that. We're still going to, of course, have fun. That's the main focus of my videos here, is to have fun with it at budget level. But this one now is going to be the non-budget one that we're going to try to see how well it does for the remainder of today. And speaking of that, if you are a new viewer to the channel, if you are watching wherever you're at, streaming, checking it out for the first time, I do want to say right now, if you do like the content, you know what to do. Be sure to give a like, follow, subscribe wherever you are enjoying the stream so you don't miss out on any of the future live streams, budget deck techs out there, any of our upcoming booster pack openings, and so much more. I have a couple of videos that I also am trying to put together that focus a little bit more on commentary. I haven't done commentary videos too often, so I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to do that down the line. Because they are kind of fun to do. Alright, Gifted Aetherborn. Alright. Well, let's see here. We will play the Caverner's Souls on Eldrazi. Glaring Fleshraker. Can't be countered. I mean, they're playing mono black, so we don't really get a benefit from that, but that's okay. Opponent, do you have removal? I'm guessing they probably do. Hero's Downfall. Okay, well, it's not the most optimized removal, but it is removal. And they're playing 140 cards, so opponent's definitely going to be gimmicky today. But okay, we will let it go, and so we'll see how well it does. Triome. Fleshraker number 2. So I'm guessing our opponent's gimmick here is because they're playing a mono black deck with probably all the removal in the world. It's going to be annoying, but we'll try to get around it. Opponent swings. Okay. They get pinged, and we will now start losing life, but we will try to get around this. All right, in the meantime here, Malevolent Rumble. All right. Dang. Kozilek's Unsealing. Ping our opponents. Snapping Void Claw. Ping again. Down to 22. Ping again. So this will kind of keep them in line for a little bit, but not enough if they have a Shieldered out, because that really hampers our card draw. We'll try to get around it. Even if our opponent is playing a really gimmicky deck, by the way. Okay, so they're just going to punish us with a bunch of card draw and pinging. I mean, again, I have nothing against gimmick decks. It's just annoying because their deck is so high variance. So I don't really know if there's anything that's worth doing here, but we'll try. Okay. Nothing yet. Down to 8. Not good. Okay, so let's see. We get pinged. I don't even know if we're going to survive another turn here because our opponent has way too many things going on. Because I really want to do the Null Drifter. But we're going to get pinged here pretty hard. 24. Draw 2 cards. We take 2 damage anyway, and we lose. That's dumb. I'm sorry. That's just kind of dumb. Okay, I guess we're just going to lose our rank here. Okay. It's all right. Shaking it off. We'll just try again. We'll just keep trying. Okay. Let's go ahead and try a Historic ranked again. Well, I mean, I know this is going to be a small sample size, but so far Historic feels okay. It doesn't feel like it's completely overrun with Alchemy decks. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling it right now. But we'll still keep trying a little bit because, again, the whole focus was to put this into that format. Any case, all right, so we got plenty of lands. The Brood Scales can help us make some tokens out of the False Gods. Okay. Hoping to at least get maybe one more, just get one win today. At this point, that's all I want. Dense Planet, we should add Eldrazi Fungus. That ramps you a land, and if you kick it, you can exile a land card to target an opponent. Oh. Wait, well, let me look at that one up again, because I feel like I'm missing like half of the cards that I really did ignore putting this together. Feels like I really kind of fumbled that. Okay, but we'll go back to it in a bit. Maybe after this. Utopia Sprawl. Okay, so our opponent is getting their ramp on. Okay, so in that case then, we don't have anything to play just yet, so play the Triome. Okay, opponents. What are you ramping into? Land of War Elves. Okay. Is it Elves again? I guess we'll find out. Mutavaults. Basking Brood Scale. Alright, opponents. Anything else? Anything else? I feel like at this point, Dense Planet, maybe you might have been better off doing this deck tech than I did. Because we're not doing too hot so far. But we'll try. Secluded Courtyard on Eldrazi. Right. No attack still. Ugh. Such a tough creature to get around. Another creature you control. Put X plus... Okay. Okay. The opponent is going off here. All right. There's also colorless spells that we can get from Explorer, like Masters of Kozilek Wrath. Oh. Yeah, you're right, too. Jeez. Okay. I feel like we might as well just redo this whole deck because we're just not... We're not doing anything today. It just feels like we're just not going off. I mean, we're kind of doing stuff, but maybe I didn't build this deck correctly again. Maybe it's just another one of those incidents. Right. Because we haven't yet to really do anything major against our opponents here, and it's just been kind of bothering me. Defense of the Heart. All right. Okay. I can block here with 1, and that's it. Ugh. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe these weren't quite the ways to build this deck. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to concede. I know, everyone. I look like the worst Magic player in the world right now. Like, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, and I've lost pretty much every match today. We've come close, but we have not been able to succeed. Okay, so we need to redo this. Let's go ahead. Let's start this all over again. I usually don't like to do this in a stream, but I think our solution here needs to possibly just wipe away and start fresh. So, all right. Don't worry. Again, if you are interested, at least in the super cheap one, I'll still put this one up in a link, but right now we need to start clean. Starting clean and all over again. So, format for now. We're going to focus on historic, but technically it is going to be available for timeless. So let's go ahead. Let's do that. First off, and if you do want to participate, feel free to kind of chime in, everybody. I'm more than happy to hear you out on whatever you want to consider. But first things first. So this is going to be, of course, a non-budget one. Again, I will leave the budget one in the details below, but let's focus right now on trying to build a non-budget Eldrazi deck. So we're working 60 cards. Okay. So how do we make a decent Eldrazi deck? I think that's the question I want to ask right now. So, and of course, if you have ideas, or maybe you have your own list, maybe I can hear you out for that moment there. But again, we're just trying to really find a way to make everything work. I had the idea that I wanted to really just go with was we pull out a bunch of spawns, we use them to ramp, we then pull out some of our big things to then just beat down our opponent, but it hasn't quite worked out what I was expecting. So yeah. So the Writhing Chrysalis, this is definitely going to be something that at least does stuff. So we got to keep that. That pumps on its own, and that creates its own small pseudo tokens. So that's good. Fleshraker, yes. So these at least are going to be the most essential cards. These ones are going to help us do our thing. Okay. And then what else do we want to do here? The enchantments. Are we talking about... where's it at there? Where's the enchantment at? Oh, Echoes of Eternity? Okay, so the question I want to ask is, if we're going to use Echoes of Eternity, how many copies do we want? Do we want to go with a whole set? 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies? I'm willing to crack a couple of my rares to pull this off, because I really want to see if we can make something amazing today. So I guess we're kind of now becoming a brewing stream, if you will. Dual land MDFC Eldrazi. Enchantment 2 for now. Okay, do 2 for now. And then, wait, no, the dual land MDFC? Wait. Which MDFC are we talking about here? I feel like I can't find it. Oh, okay. You mean this one. Yes. The Drowner of Truth. Okay. And then how many copies of Drowner of Truth do we want? Do we want 2 of these? 1, 2? All right. We could do that. Okay. Maybe at some point we'll try to do, maybe one of these days, I'll try to do maybe like a fun little brewer stream where we can all participate. Maybe you all have an idea of a card that you want to build around, and we can kind of work with that and then kind of give it a test run later in the stream. So this is kind of we haven't actually done that, I realize, in a stream fully. So definitely something I'm open to in the future. Let me know in the comments or later on if you guys want to do in the future like a stream that's completely focused on everybody participating to build a deck. And I think that actually would be a lot of fun to do. But for now, we just want to see if we can get this going. So, okay. So we right now have Glaring Fleshraker. We have Writhing Chrysalis, 2 Echoes of Eternity, and 2 Drowner of Truth. So we still got 36 cards, assuming we're still going to keep 24 lands. What else do we need? What else should we get? If it's Brawl, I think that probably might be the best way to do it. So I think I will plan that out in the future. Maybe once I have a little bit of time to plan it out based upon the other content that I already have built, I think we can definitely do a nice little brewer stream that's going to focus on a Brawl deck. So I think that should be at least a fun one to do, because everybody can at least put in at least 1 or 2 cards that they want to see. But I got to try to figure out what would the commander be in the future. So we're going to have to plan that out. But again, that'll come in the future. Don't worry. I'm excited to do that once we get to that point. Any case, circling back to here. So what else do we want to put into this deck? Do we want anything more lower powered? Don't do idle. Okay. I guess I'm just so stuck on trying to make this work, but I guess this is more like an ultra budget card that doesn't really do much of anything until you get to later in the game. So, okay. That's fine. We will not touch that card. Look for Modern Horizon 3 mana dorks. If we go big Eldrazi, then use Ugin's Labyrinth and Explorer for Kozilek's Wrath. Okay. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. We will, let's see. Well, we're looking through everything right now. And I've already marked it. Okay, so. Okay, so the Modern Horizon 3 mana dorks. So what mana dorks do we want for this deck? Do we care about it being all Eldrazi, or are we just going to try to do things like just get like Land of War Elves or Birds of Paradise? I think the Pinger would be good. I mean, we already have the Pinger in here, so we have Glaring Fleshraker, so we have that already. So that's good. Okay. Do we want more cards that focus on... Okay, so for example, do we want Snapping Voidclaw? This is technically ramp. But you said also we want... Do we want cheaper ramp? Is Snapping Voidclaw enough for us? All Eldrazi would be more thematic. Yeah, I do like having the theme. Oh, hold on one second, everybody. We've got one thing here that I'm going to try to tweak out real quick. Hold on. All right. Hold on, everybody. I see something here that needs to be dealt with. Hold on. All right. I think we dealt with that. Okay. Wait, hold on. It's still there? Okay, hold on. Dang it. How do I do this here? Okay. Mana dorks, you say? Okay, we could definitely do that. Yeah, the bots. And then right now, for some reason, it's just not responding on my side here, the thing. Hold on. Hold on. Do apologize, everybody. I'm just trying to make sure we get that dealt with here. Okay, so on my side, okay, I think it's gone now. Okay. I think it should be gone. Okay. Any case, all right. Yeah. Say no to bots, everybody. No to bots. Okay. I will need to some point have to get somebody to moderate a little bit when I can, when I'm not doing this solo. Any case, where was I? Oh, yes. So should we get just the one drop? Or let's see. Okay. So do we want Snapping Voidclaw? Is this good enough for us for a mana dork here? Do we want something else? And then what other cards do we want to put in? Do we want cards that can help us make more dorks? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Trying to think here. Trying to see. What else do we want? So this is what we have right now. We want 20 more cards at least to then bump up our thing here. Let's see. What else do we want? Do we want anything bigger? Because again, I'm just working with whatever you guys recommend, and then we'll definitely build it and kind of give it a test run. But do we want anything else? Do I put in Kozlik's command for more stuff that we can do? Well, okay. I think... Okay, so for sure Kozlik's command. So I have a whole set. How many do we want? Do we want the whole set? Do we want only 3? 2? And then, yeah, anybody else that's still watching across any of the formats, just kind of chime in. Again, if I don't see you on the other chats, I do apologize for that. See, okay. A whole set? Okay. Cool. All right. So we're going to do a whole set of Kozlik's command. And apologize if I don't see, if anybody's chiming in from other formats, do apologize for that. I don't see it right now, only those of you that are on Twitch and YouTube right now on here. So if you want to chime in, if you're able to jump over to YouTube or Twitch, then you definitely can then participate. So otherwise, I apologize, everyone. For some reason, I just can't get the chat to work on the other formats, but okay. Let's see, do we... And then, okay, so we're at 44. 1 Defiler for sure. Okay. Okay, so 1 Ulamog the Defiler. Okay, that's cool. I do like the card, by the way. Okay, and I think by the time we're done, I think we'll probably just focus on this being for best of 1. We'll worry about a sideboard maybe a little bit later on, or maybe I'll just slap something together near the end of the stream, so if anybody is interested in trying to build this for themselves, at least they kind of have something to work with here. But otherwise, okay, so what else do we want here? So we have 1 Ulamog. We have an entire set of Kozileks, some Drowner Truth, Echo of Eternity, Rising Chrysalis, Flesh Raker, Snapping Voidclaw, unless if anybody objects. 1 copy of Emrakul World Anew. Okay. That is a good one, though. Okay, so Emrakul here. Not sure if I'm ever going to get the madness on it, but that's okay. Still a pretty powerful card no matter what. Let's see. What else do we want here? What else do we want? Still looking here about what we want to do. Since we technically have some more higher level colorless spells, do we want to bring in now It That Heralds the End? Is this a trap? 1 copy? 2 copies? And then what else do we want to add in? We're at 46 cards right now, so we just want to round out at least another 14 more cards. I'll figure out the mana base as soon as we're done. And then a quick reminder one more time for those of you that do want to try to participate. If you want to see yourself in the chat, just join us either on Twitch or YouTube. If you're watching from other platforms, that's perfectly fine too. I appreciate still your support on those platforms. But again, I'm only saying that because I just can't pull it up. I can't pull up the chat on those other windows there. So I do apologize for that. I have X open right now, but for some reason I'm having trouble seeing stuff from there. So sorry, everybody. But don't worry. I still will take in any and all suggestions, but I still appreciate y'all. Let's see here. What else do we want here? What else do we want? Let's see. It heralds 2 of, and clear search tab to look for more Modern Horizons 3 cards. There's mana dorks that could tap for colorless. Okay. So here's how we'll do it. So let's swap over. Where's it at? Okay, there it is. Modern Horizons 3. Okay. If I was to guess, most of them probably should be in green. Blue, okay. Are we looking at the lands right now? Is that what you're thinking? Sage. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying here. Okay, so I'm guessing we'll get a whole set of these. Wow, there's literally cards in here I've completely were unaware were in this set. It really does pay to actually pay attention to a entire set coming out. Oops. Okay, so we got the Sage of the Unknowable. Okay, so that'll help us out with ramping. So that's good. And then what else do we want? So we're at 52 cards right now. Also, the curve looks pretty good actually right now too, so that's actually pretty impressive. So thanks again for that, Dense Planet. Okay, and then there's also a green mana dork that taps for any colorless. Okay, let's look there for a second. So where would it be? No, it's not Warp Tusker. Okay. We'll turn that off for a second here so we can just see. Dryad. Okay, hold on. I'll see. I see what it is. Okay. This one's actually pretty good too for us. Okay. 56 cards right now, so we can add in 4 more. I think we should be good to go there. Pinworm X. Welcome, my fiery friend. Thanks again for joining us over on YouTube there. Hopefully you have a wonderful day wherever you're at. So you're just catching us in the middle of putting together, or at least kind of redoing our Eldrazi deck, because man, that deck that I had earlier, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably a pretty bad build. I really wanted to make it good, but it just wasn't working out. Still, this one I think looks a lot more promising, and I thank all of you for still participating on this one. Search for Devoid. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. I'm so dumb. Devoid cards. We gotta look at those. Okay, so from Modern Horizons 3, this is what we got. Every time I see an Eldrazi deck non-commander that has that, there's the one that pings damage. Oh yeah, so you're talking about, I think, Glaring Fleshraker here, because this is the one that will ping for colorless. So we already have that, but that's good. Thanks again for that. Indeed. Just escaped Area 55. Oh, Area 55, you say? What was that like? Okay, and then we have our Devoid card. So we're going to open this up, of course, to everything here. So, what Devoid cards are we looking at then? Should we get either, what is it? Do we want some of the things like Path of Annihilation? Ugin's Binding, since we have a lot more higher castable mana costs now? Do we want instead damage, counter spells? Okay, we have 4 more cards we can round out, and then we'll readjust the mana base, and then we should be good to go for this game. Okay. Oh, that's right. Ugin's Binding. Okay. Do we want a whole set? I think if I have to crack more, I have some mythics left over, but I want to save up those as much as I can. So how many? Clerica puts. Hello, Inferno and chat. Thanks again for joining us, my fire friend. You're in the middle of us kind of brewing together an Eldrazi deck. So let's see. Can we put together an Eldrazi deck that actually will cook in Historic? Maybe even Timeless too. Get it. Established 1955. I never say where we work. That is true, though. That is true. Of course. I see what you did there. Okay. Well, again, thanks again for joining us. Okay. 2 bindings, you say? Okay. So that leaves us now with room for 2 more cards, and then we should be good to wrap it up. And then put an Eldrazi Linebreaker. Ooh. Oh, this is a sweet card here. Okay. So that rounds out our package. Okay. So let's now go ahead and adjust the mana base here, because we definitely want to fix to something better here. We'll take off Modern Horizons because we want all the cards. Okay. All right. So we're mostly still in Teamer, which is good. And don't worry, everybody. I will put up this link if you're interested in this version at the end of the stream. So this will be up later on. Is this deck cheap in terms of in real life money or arena wildcards? Oh, so to clarify, Clara Kaput, what we're doing right now is we're building the non-budget one. I did have earlier on the stream a budget version that was super duper cheap. So that version, if it's more like, again, like beginner Eldrazi. I'll make some tweaks to that one initially, but that one was $34 when we started the stream with 4 rares, which is really cheap, but the deck was kind of clunky on some spots. So I will try to fix that one later on before I put the final version up at the end of the stream. The one you're seeing right now is everyone participating in the chat right now to put together a much more stronger deck that's also really, really powerful and also non-budget. Painlands are good here. Oh, that's right. The Painlands are amazing actually here. I forget that Painlands are perfect for Eldrazi decks. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll do this one at a time though. We'll cut out all the lands first and then we'll rebuild here. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Okay, so with the forests, this should mean that our mana fixing should be perfect then for everything. So then let's see. We will. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. Yami 5 Coast. And then Shivan Reef. Okay, so these are great for Eldrazi because you can tap for the colorless you need and then tap it for the colored when you actually really need it. Okay. Okay. And then Pain Lands also tap for color. Yes, they do. So yes, they color, but they do tap for colorless. So this is perfect for an Eldrazi deck. Really good for us. Shock. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So if you were to upgrade this deck, you don't need shock lands. The only way I would argue shock lands is maybe if we were going to go into timeless and you wanted fetch lands, but you actually don't need fetch lands with this because you should have, in theory here, based on how we built it, you have more than enough ramp to get off what you need. Okay. So we have that. We have room for 12 more lands. Which one should we do? Should we try the uncounterable ones? Should we do Cavern of Souls? Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Cavern of Souls is definitely going to be a perfect land also for this one. Taps for what we need to when we need it. All right, cool. So we got 52. All right, so 8 more lands. And again, we're open to anything at this point. We're just trying to fill this out, and then we'll jump into some games. And then that should pretty much be the remainder of the stream, is just us trying to see how well we can make this deck work. Okay. But again, because of how we're building this right now, I don't want to take up too much time. So once we're done with this, we're just going to focus on a best of one. I will slap together maybe at the end of the stream. I'll probably put together a quick little sideboard just so at least this looks full for the end. But right now we're just focusing on finishing up the main deck, and we'll just take it into as many best of one matches, win or lose. Secluded Courtyard and Unclaimed Territory. Anybody else object to that? So Secluded Courtyard, great for fixing. And then same thing with Unclaimed Territory. Unless we have a better land, or maybe we have a utility land maybe we want instead. Anybody else say that? Do we want a copy of Ugin's Labyrinth? Remember, this version we're building right now is going to be the non-budget version. Budget version will, of course, have its own deck list. I'll put up again at the end. Courtyard is enough. Okay. So that means we only have room for 4 more lands. What are the remaining 4 lands we want? Do we want the Ugin's Labyrinth? Do we want anything else? Any kinds of land hate? Anything tapped? Oh yeah, probably Ugin is better than the 2. Okay. That is true. Okay. Do we want 1? If we had more expensive Eldrazi, then maybe Ugin's Labyrinth. So what? Maybe 1 copy then? We could just get 1 copy. We don't need like a bunch. Yeah, because we're not full super ramping into big Eldrazi. We're just trying to do it with a little bit more of a fair build with some possible like variations of like either pushing through damage or going wide. So right now, if we wrap this up, Dense Planet will be 24 lands. That's how many lands we're working with right now. And that should be enough, I think, for this, especially with all the ramp that we're doing. I think that should be enough lands to get out everything, right? So I have in 1 copy of Ugin's Labyrinth, and we have room for 3 more lands. Is there any utility lands that we're looking at doing, anybody? Is there anything else we should add to the deck? And again, right now it's just best of one, but we can always adjust it later on, maybe afterwards. Do we want any other kinds do we want creature lands that we need to push through damage? Or maybe do we want maybe some gain lands for ramping? Do we want to do the fetch lands that can dig out stuff that we can cycle? Field and Mutavaults. Oh, that's right. Okay. Let's see. Field and Mutavaults. So what? 2 Mutavaults. Oh wait, hold on. Field of Dead will be. Wait, I forgot to ask. Are we focusing on this on historic? If we're going into timeless, we can add in Field of the Dead. But for now, let's do it this way. We'll hold off on Field of the Dead, and then we'll worry about that. If we're gonna go in the timeless, I'll talk about that at the end of the stream. We'll kind of keep this more towards historic for now, just to kind of keep it fair. So if that's the case, then do we want anything else? Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep it for historic, but don't worry. I will address Field of the Dead if we were to take this in the timeless. 1 Field of Ruin. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it. So that's the 60-card deck. So with the help of all of you out there, thanks again for those of you that did participate. I appreciate that. I think this one should be the better one to have now. So we'll make sure we christen this one. This is definitely a lot cleaner than we originally had. And it shouldn't be as clunky anymore because we're really focusing on ramping, getting our big Eldrazi out to start pumping, doing damage. And if not, we can then start triggering our big ones here, which should be able to then beat our opponents. But okay. Thanks again, everybody. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap up the stream and just play as many with the upgraded deck as possible. Even if we don't end up winning that much, I don't care because I still had a lot of fun putting together this deck with everybody. So I think I'll definitely do that in the future. I think we will do a community brewing project, if you will. We'll put together something in Brawl, so that means we have plenty of time to put together a bunch of stuff and put together a deck that the community can all have fun doing. And then, of course, I'll leave a link for that in the future. Okay, so here we go, everybody. All right, so trying again here. Let's see. So we don't really have any big ramp, but, I mean, we can technically ramp with this. I provided the cards. Let's hope I was correct. I trust you, Dense Planet. You've been watching me enough to know like my style, and also you know how I like to play things. So also, you've never really shown me anything bad, so I trust you on this one. Okay, so exile the Emrakul. It's going to be a while before we get to that, but now we can then tap for 2. I'll pass. So, opponent, what do you got? Bring it on. I'm ready this time.
It's time to do.
Aw, yeah. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Show me what you got. Faithless Looting. Okay. So, what are we dumping into the yard? Is it going to be something that you're going to try to cheat out opponents? Okay. Brotherhood's End. Brain Surge. Okay. Okay. Shivan Reef. So we will... Secluded Courtyard on Eldrazi. Eldrazi Linebreaker coming in. Start swinging for 4. Okay. Now we're actually doing some damage. Let's see, so that means we'll have 5 next turn. We can put in Writhing Chrysalis, so that's actually going to be really great for us. Thundering Falls. Okay. Honestly, Dense Planet, also I forgot to mention, and also this goes for all of you that just that joined it. So Formiga Natural, if we get at least 1 win with this deck, I'll be happy. Actually, you know what? Even if we lose, I'll still be happy with this because it was a lot of fun to still put this together. So I really enjoyed this. But don't worry, I think I have a much better deck for the next stream. So that's also what I'm kind of thinking on my head right now is we definitely will have something a lot better next time around. All right, make some tokens. Pump this up. Now we're talking. Down to 7. All right. This feels much better right now. But we'll see. Did we beat our opponent here? Because they're trying to do some sneaky stuff here. Is this enough? Brotherhood's End. Okay. And then... Is there anything really... Okay. But counters? Counters. Okay. So it survives the Wrath, which is good. Okay. Oh. There we go. There we go. All right. We got our win for today. Woo! Much better. Wow. Yes. Massive props to... Okay, everyone. Yeah, give a round of applause to Dense Splendid on that one and Formiga. Both of you guys made this deck much better than what I had. Wow, I actually look like a terrible deck builder now. Okay, but seriously though, great job, guys. We actually got our first win finally with just that upgraded deck. I mean, I know it's not the budget one, but you kind of inspired me now to kind of really evaluate my deck building a little bit better next time. So yes, let's go for the tempo. Yeah. Okay. I felt much better about that one. We'll definitely, I'll have to clip that one later on. I'll give you guys credit for that later on for that. So thank you. So we at least got 1 win, so the deck definitely does feel a lot better. We were able to push through some damage and put a lot of pressure on our opponent very quickly with this. Okay, so here we go again. Okay, so we definitely have a lot of strong stuff in hand here, but it's going to be a while before we get there. All right. Either way. Still, all of you all participated, so I still take that. We will Yami buy a coast and pass. All right, opponent. Show me what you got. Bring it on.
It's time to duel.
All right, tap land. Got the Field of Ruin. So let's see here. Restless Cottage. Nightshade Dryad. Paying ourselves for 1. That's okay. So we now have some ramp. And then we should be able to get into Ugin's Binding, no problem. Opponent. Opponent. Bill of a Skull Dweller. Okay. Poison? Oh, it's a okay, so it is a toxic poison deck. Okay. Well, I mean, that's going to be a thing. Name Eldrazi. Okay, and then... Unfortunately, this does trigger off their ability, but that's okay. It comes with the territory. So, from here... What we need to do is... We just need a couple more ways to ramp, and I think we should be able to push through against our opponent here, but... They're definitely going to have a clock on us now. Ugh. But, I mean, that's what's going to happen with a poison deck. Alright, 4 counters. Is there a way out of this? Tap. Pass. Alright, so let's see. We'll try. We will mostly try. Alright. Come on. Alright, Infectious Inquiry. They draw 2 cards. We're up to 5. Ugh. Okay. Swing it away. With 1. No blocks yet. We'll go up to 7. 8. Okay. Dang. Alright. Well. I mean, we tried. There's not really anything else we can really do here, except we can play Echoes of Eternity. But even if I had this as a blocker, there was no way we were going to get around that. Alright. Well. It's fine. But that was one that we really just couldn't handle, because we were not... I guess I kept the wrong hand for that one, so that was my fault. But that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll just keep playing. Okay, so, continuing on. We still got 1 win, though, with the upgraded deck, so I'm still happy for that. Yeah, I have a bad habit of sometimes not mulliganing, so I will try to do that and try to learn to be a better player when it comes to mulliganing. Okay, so for this one... Okay, so we got the Writhing Chrysalis, that's good. 2 Dryads. Emrakul won't make it, but we can still get the Writhing Chrysalis out. So I think... I think we can keep this one. Chrysalis comes out on turn 3. Capstone Forest. Yeah. I'll try to mulligan better. I'll try to be a good player now. Say Secluded Courtyard, okay. Eldrazi. Nightshade Dryad. Ping ourselves, that's okay. Alright, opponents, what do you got? More elves? Or is this... Okay, so it is going to be a... It's going to be the Devotion deck. But we'll see if we can try to fight our way around it. We're still going to be a little bit slow, though, so that's okay for us. Secluded Courtyard on Eldrazi. Alright, make our tokens. Pass. Okay. Okay, well, we are ramping now this time, so this is good. So right now, in theory, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be 7, 8, 9. For budget, we got tempo going for, like, having more stuff. There are ones that can stun, recur themselves, and then there's plenty. Oh, we forgot about the Ugin. That's right, we did. That's okay. We can always just look at it again. At least with what you've shown me now, I have ways of finding out how we can do this better next time. Don't worry. It is going to happen. Okay, Snapping Voidclaw. Nightshade Dryad. Okay, and then no attacks yet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, we're so close actually to going off here. Like seriously, if I can get an Emrakul I think we might be able to pull off a win there. Oh man, we're so close though. We'll try. Okay, opponent is going to try to go off because they have their Leyland Abundance. Ugh. Tick down 2. What are they getting? Cityscape Leveler. Dang. We came close. Okay. So we get a token that doesn't really help us because we don't have any artifacts to take advantage of this. Also, I had one random point. I don't like how this is worded. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. They really should have worded that differently because it just messes with me grammatically. Our opponent is going off here. Trailblazer. Yeah, this is just boring to me right now. Let's run the festivals again. If some way, somehow, I was able to get Emrakul on the next turn here, then this would be amazing, and this would probably just completely tilt our opponent here, but we didn't quite get there. Just drawing all of their cards. Are you done yet, opponents? Anytime now. Okay. Flesh Raker, alright. On Eldrazi. Yeah, dang. One more turn probably could have gotten this help this go off. I mean, the best I could do here is maybe draw a card. Another Chrysalis. Okay. So. Oh, if only I could have used that Power Stone. Then that means Emrakul could have just yoinked everything and we would have just been done with it. But even at this point, I don't know if there's anything else we can really do. Actually, 3 mana dorks. What? Oh, wait, hold on. Could I have? But we don't have a way to trigger off the discard. That's the problem. Like, Emrakul here is powerful, but we can't... there's nothing for us to discard Emrakul with. So that's the issue I see. No, yeah, that's why. I couldn't use the Power Stone. Like, it doesn't do anything in our deck. Because, this is what I was mentioning earlier. The card should read... This mana can only be spent to cast artifact spells. Because the way it's worded is kind of clunky to me. And I always kind of mess with myself when I see this. I'm like, oh, sweet. I got a free token that... Oh, actually, you can't use it. So, our opponent here is just going to do his thing. And, yeah. All right. We'll just cut this one. Because I'm kind of tired of watching them play Solitaire. And I really want to see if we can actually get another victory or so with this, this deck. But either way, I still will try here. Don't worry. We're going to keep going. There has to be at least another couple wins we can get with this deck. I really do feel like this deck is poised to get us some more victories based upon how we built it. So I do think we can do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and try again here. Okay, so we got the ramp in our hands. Let's see, it's 3 cards, Void Claw into Chrysalis. Okay, I think we could do this. All right, so let's try this again. I'm still feeling pretty good here. Ground of Truth. Tapped. Bring it on, opponents. Show me what you got.
It's time to duel.
Inquisition Kozilek. So, dang, that means that there goes our mana dork. That's okay. Yummy via Coast. All right, so anything else, opponents? Swamp, Bandit's Talent. Okay. Well, put away the Echoes of Eternity. Toots. Secluded Courtyard on Eldrazi. Flesh Raker coming in. Okay, so we're getting stripped, unfortunately, because our opponent's going to make us discard, so joy. And they probably have removal. Okay. What else you got, opponent? Bandit's Talent again. Okay. Dang. Jeez. This is painful. Alright, well. Do I even bother, or do I think they're just going to make us discard more? Oh, wait, hold on. I can do this at instant speed. Never mind. An 18. Okay. I think then... Okay. I guess we could use this to make some tokens and then scry a little bit. Okay. Okay. 1, 2. All right. Not quite how I wanted to do this, but okay. It'll work, if nothing else. Okay, ping. Down to 17. Okay. Draw 1, because they're going to discard the other one anyway. Opponents. Ping. Ping. Dang. But there goes our ramp still. So annoying. Okay. Anything else, opponent? You got one more card in any other lands? I mean, our opponent's not getting the land, so I guess that helps us out a little bit. If only our spawns could actually do some damage. Because now we have plenty of to go around here. Okay. Ping again. Ping again. Right, and we're all out. Honestly, I just kind of swung with the Eldrazi. Just out of spite. But okay. We're now in top deck mode because our opponent made us discard everything, so I guess there was just no point in holding anything. Okay. Deserve for playing discard. But let's see, can we try to get around this? Down to 14. Ooh. All right, now we're talking. There we go. Let's see, I want a game like this, but for Commander. Oh. Golem Gaming 4. Thanks again for joining us on there, my fiery friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day where you're at. I think we managed to pull this one off here. Did we do it? Did we do it? Sneak attack out of nowhere there. There's no way they have anything to destroy a line breaker. Yes. There we go. We got another victory here. Get out of here with that discard. All right. Okay. Yeah, this upgraded version of the deck is much better. I mean, yes, we haven't won that much, but hey, we're actually getting wins, so I'm feeling pretty good still. Excuse me. All right. Much better still. Yeah. I kind of want to see if maybe I can put this together in paper. Of course, I'm not going to be able to spend the ton to actually get all the real stuff I want, but this actually looks pretty fun still. Golem Gaming. I could go back to standard to give my Cranko Mob Boss and 99 Mountains a break. Ooh, wow. That's spicy. That many. Okay. That is a choice. I kind of want to look at that. Like, literally, you just put together a Cranko Mob Boss and put a bunch of mountains and just start tapping for a bunch of goblin tokens. I mean, that's hilarious. Does it actually work, though? Does it really work? Okay, so we can Snapping Void Claw. Oh, Leyline of... Oh, come on, opponents. Start shooting stuff out here. Pilgrim. Okay. All right. Well, we got a Mana Dork, so that's good. Shivan Reef and pass. Okay, opponents. They're going to just start ramping here like crazy. Oh, very interesting, but okay. Tangle Floor Region. Okay. Mana Dorks for days, I guess. Yeah. Mana Dorks here all over. Golem Gaming in pods. It's not terrible 1v1. It's god-awful, though. I mean, I would imagine so, but it's hilarious. It's kind of like what I've seen. There was a video I remember a while ago where someone played, like they played, was it, the monkey was, oh, wow, I cannot remember cards right now. Ragavan, there we go, that's right. Someone played Ragavan in 99 Mountains and was just focused on just stealing their opponent's cards just to cast instead, which is hilarious if you manage to get that gimmick to go off. It's a really interesting idea there. Dance Planet, Mono Green Devotion. We can't escape. Can't escape it, do we? Yeah, it just plagues everything. And then when people tell me, like, well, other colors are just as strong, No. Red right now, and I'm a person that loves red decks, but let's be real. Red is the weakest color right now in Magic. There's no escaping that. I know that for a fact. It is undeniable proof. Red's just too weak. White has gotten a lot stronger over time. Black, I feel like black is getting a little bit too much. Green also got too much. But I feel like, you know, they need to power up red a little bit more. But anytime they give red something good, they always take it away from us. And that kind of makes me sad. Just because, again, red usually gets very efficient stuff. But the problem comes down to just... Okay, we're actually going to get the Kindred attachment off here. So this will be fun. Wow, Pact Negation. Dang. I wasn't expecting that. But okay. Well, even so, our opponent has to pay up right now or they lose. Okay, so that does set him back a turn just to stop us. That's okay, though. We have Fleshraker, and we have Kozilek's Command, so I think we'll be okay here. We just need to start pinging it on our opponent. Because they kind of fizzled now, which is hilarious, but okay. Alright, so here's how we do this. We need to make a ton of mana here. Glaring Fleshraker. Start getting our spawns. Ping. 16. Pump up the team. We will Sage of the Unknowable. And pass here. Okay. I think we might be able to just ping on our opponent here with tokens. We'll try here. Yeah, red is hella weak right now. We can't even play control with it, which is... that makes me so sad, though, because I love red, but I acknowledge that red is a weak color. I actually am going to make a YouTube video on this at some point, so that is something that is coming soon. I'm going to try to do a little series where I try to evaluate the colors, explain why certain colors are better than others, why some are absolutely broken, and why some of them are actually hated. Blue. No offense to blue players, but yeah, nobody likes getting their spells countered. But I had to also ask, what is worse? Would you rather get your card discarded, or would you rather have your card counterspelled? Let me know, everybody. What do you think is worse? Okay, so we're going to play Eldrazi here. Okay, so... now we're the ramp deck. Okay, so here's how we do this here. We will make a bunch of tokens. And then I guess we'll scry just because I want to see. Okay, so 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Opponent. Ping, ping, ping. Okay. Woo! Scrying for 7. Okay, so I think we should have no problem now getting to what we need here. Maybe we should just get another Kozilek's Command. I guess that probably might be better. Or actually, you know what? Put away these. These. One there. Okay, there we go. There we go. Draw the one card. This is great. Sure, opponent. Counters is fine. We still get to ping you no matter what. Ping, ping, ping. Ooh. Okay, I think we can do it right here. Okay, so... Okay, okay. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Wait, hold on, hold on. Cancel. Here's how we do it. I forgot, we can ping like this. And then we can double it up. Okay, I think we got it now. Here's how we do it. So... there we go. We got him. We got him. We got him. Yes, I got the colorless burn win. All right. I think we should end it there, everybody. Yes. Oh, this version of the deck is great. Oh, I wanted all those pings to go off, but you get the idea, everybody. Oh, man. Once again, props to all of you that helped put this deck together. This was hilarious right there. That was the way I wanted to win at the end there. Oh, man. Take that, opponent. Take that. All right. Okay. So I'm being told right now by the content manager that we are unfortunately going to have to wrap it up very quick here. So I think that'll probably much be our last one for today, everybody. I do apologize. As much as I would love to stream longer, I do have to take care of some other things out there. So we're going to be concluding this now with just our little evaluation, and we'll talk about again what's to come in the future for our next stream and beyond. So yeah, Kozilek's Command is nuts. I really underestimated that card, by the way. So thanks again, everybody, for those of you that participated. Man, you really made a fun deck for me. I'm definitely probably going to keep this in my rotation for decks for the time being, so definitely have that here. Okay, so let's wrap this up real quick. Okay, so here's how we thought. Okay, so originally, the version that you saw earlier, it was cute, but it was lacking a lot of power, and it kind of had zero focus. So that's where I'm at for that one. I'll still put it up for those of you. So this was right here, the original version of this deck. So I'm going to show you right now. So this was the original one here. So we're going to put that back up while it is. And again, kind of like what we evaluated, it just wasn't doing enough. So this version here, I'll still put up if you're interested in seeing the original super budget deck, but with a couple of tweaks. Maybe I'll probably make it a little slightly upgraded, so at least it doesn't feel too bad, but it was okay. It didn't really do what I wanted it to do, so definitely needed an overhaul, to the point where even when we went into the non-budget version that I'm going to show you in just a second, that one also was clunky until all of you took the time to help me participate and rebuild the deck from the ground up. So I think the new version that's upgraded is a much better version than this. The basic idea that we had, of course, is there, but it wasn't quite what I wanted to see. So I'll still let you guys, if you want to, keep a link for this. It's still super budget, but if you really want to go all out, definitely, I would highly recommend Eldrazi. Lots of solid options at the cheap level, but this is really what you want to do with the deck. You want to start doing something here that provides you with a lot of power. And as you saw, our deck today was able to go big and it was able to go wide. So we're talking again about a deck that you can either cast the big Eldrazi, or you can just go crazy with a bunch of the tokens, which can either burn out your opponent, or you can use your line breaker here to pump up something and just smash your way through. Either way, the upgraded version is definitely what I recommend. If you do like to play the cheap one, that's fine. But if you really want to get the full power out of Eldrazi, you really need to upgrade the deck as you saw here, because this version here is nuts. I actually really, really like that. So one more time, thank you everybody who participated in building this. I really had a lot of fun with this one today. So with that, I think that's pretty much it, everybody. With this, I'll do a final wrap up right quick of what's to come in the future. So all of you that are still watching at this point, thanks again for still enjoying the content. You are all my true fire friends, and I really do appreciate your support. So here's what's coming for the next stream over the weekend. So what we're doing, Nano Flare, love Eldrazi. I'm glad it's still playable. It is. It just needed a little bit more time to cook, and you kind of saw our upgraded version is definitely a lot better. Now, it's not to say that the cheap version isn't playable. I think I would have to tweak this a little bit more, and I definitely think this one can be done on a budget. But an upgraded version is hilariously nuts. So yeah, I had a lot of fun there. So here's what we're going to be doing for the next stream. So the future one here, I'm still kind of tweaking the name a little bit here, but again, we're going to be playing another affinity deck. Hopefully, again, none of you are too tired of seeing me play artifact decks, but this one actually is fun. This one is going to be aimed for historic again, but we're definitely going to be playing with this one in the future. So this one's going to be one that kind of is a hybrid version of the Affinity Blast that I just covered earlier this week. And it's also going to be a bit of a hybrid version of the artifact deck that I actually did, the robot one. So it's going to be a bit of a mix of both, but we're going to be doing Dimir colors for this one. This one actually is a lot of fun, and there's a really specific reason why I wanted these color combinations, but we'll find that out over the weekend. As far as future decks beyond that, our final 5-color deck, we've already finished recording and we're editing it as we speak. This is going to be our Basically Humans deck. So this one will be the final one in the Basically series of ultra budget, non-rares, no mythics in the deck. So again, super duper budget, really cheap to put together. But if you do want to, let me know in the comments if you would like me to start doing ultra budget brawl / commander decks, because I will definitely be more than ready to do that. Stick around for that in the future. Anything beyond that, we have a recycler deck, and then I'm still kind of tweaking it a little bit here with an upgraded version of it. So I'm still practicing and testing these ones out. These ones may be a future stream, or it might be a future deck tech. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see what comes down the line. By that point, we should be ready to go into Tarkir Dragonstorm, and I'm super duper jazzed for us to start doing some creature decks. We're going to be doing definitely dragons. We're going to be doing Ugin for sure. I definitely want to do Ugin. We're going to be doing, of course, anything and everything that I've seen that actually looks really good from that set. But let me know if you want to see specific decks for that in the future. I think also we're going to be building a Rhino deck. We're going to be doing, again, some graveyard shenanigans that I've seen with some cards out there. I'm super excited for the next set coming out in a couple weeks. We definitely have a lot to look forward to with that. Okay, but yeah, I'll put up again. I know I keep saying this over and over again on every stream, so I apologize, but I swear I will do it. I will definitely get up the poll soon, so that way you guys can let me know what do you want to see as the first deck to stream, and we'll definitely think about what we're going to planning on doing for our first deck tech with Tarkir coming out soon. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for today, everybody. Thank you one more time to everybody who participated in building today's deck today. I really had a lot of fun with it. You made me really kind of reinvigorate my enjoyment of deck building. And I actually had, despite the losses we had today, we had still a lot of fun, so I definitely enjoyed it. So again, shout outs to everyone who's been joining us in the chats today. Clara Kaput, I know I saw you earlier today. Formiga Natural, Dense Planet, always my fiery friend there. Golem Gaming 4, thanks again for that. Nano Flared, thanks again for joining us, even if it was near the very end. I still appreciate you being here. I can't see all of you across the other places I'm streaming, so I do apologize if I cannot get a shout out to all of you, but I really do appreciate all of you wherever you're watching the content. If you haven't already done so, check out the stuff. The replays are up, of course, going to be up on Twitch. Permanent copies are available up on YouTube as we speak. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for today, everybody. I really had a lot of fun today. We'll definitely maybe look into Eldrazi in the future, or at least another colorless deck down the line. There are going to be many options for us as we continue to go through this year. But otherwise, have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll do this again over the weekend. We will have a lot more fun again on the stream. And hopefully, again, you'll also be able to join me very soon. But as always, like I always say before we end the day, just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We'll see you this weekend, everybody. Later.